Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Morgan. I am a licensed cosmetologist, professional makeup artist, and a lover of theatrics. Today, I want to do something fun and talk about a hidden hero while doing my makeup. We are going to talk about Madam C.J. Walker. She is somebody that I wish that I learned about while growing up in school, and I just think she's an incredible hero and I want to tell her story. So, let's jump into it. If you guys are interested in the products that I will be using today, they will be listed in the product description box down below, so go ahead and check it out if you want to know anything that I used. I'm really excited about this story because this is one that inspires me and I hope it inspires you too. So Madam C.J. Walker is recorded in history as the first self-made female millionaire. But in actuality, there were a couple before her. The first lady was Mary Ellen Pleasant, and she was an entrepreneur, a financier, a real estate magnate, and abolitionist. The second one was a lady named Annie Malone, and she actually developed her own line of hair care products. Both of these women also happened to be Black. Annie Malone was Walker's boss and mentor in her younger years. In a way, Annie Malone really did truly pave the way for Madam C.J. Walker to develop her empire. So I definitely feel like she is worth noting in this story. Madam C.J. Walker was born Sarah Breedlove on December 23rd, 1867, near Delta, Louisiana. She really did not have an easy childhood by any means. She was one of 5 children, and her parents were slaves that were later freed after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. Her mother died when she was just 5 years old. It's so sad. And then her father died just a year later. So at the age of 7, Sarah was an orphan. When Sarah was 10, she moved to Mississippi to live with her sister Lavinia and Lavinia's husband Jesse Powell. When she got to Mississippi, she started working right away as a servant. Well, at 10 years old, she had only had 3 months of formal education in her life. She was taught only a few literacy lessons at Sunday school growing up. And to me, that just makes her story that much more incredible, that she was able to build this empire with so little formal education. While her brother-in-law, Jesse, was not such a great guy. He actually would abuse Lavinia, her older sister, and her physically and beat them up pretty badly. So in order for Sarah to get away from Jesse, she would end up marrying Mr. Moses McWilliams at age 14. She was only 14, guys, and he was 22 years old. So they actually had one child together, and her name was Lelia McWilliams. Unfortunately, Moses died in 1887, leaving Sarah to raise their 2-year-old daughter, Lelia, alone. God, can you imagine? Being 16 years old and having to raise a child entirely by yourself without an education. Just like, man, it's crazy. Anywho, Sarah later remarried a John Davis years later, but unfortunately that marriage did not work out and they ended up getting a divorce. In 1888, Sarah decided she wanted to make a clean start, so she and her daughter moved to St. Louis, where 3 of her brothers lived, so that they could make a fresh start. When she moved, she started working right away as a laundress, making $1.50 a day. $1.50 a day. Yes, peanuts. Even back in those days, that was barely anything to survive off of. But even though she didn't make that much money, she was determined that she was going to give her daughter the formal education that she was not able to get herself. Sarah would attend church regularly on Sundays, and she would find herself surrounded by these poised, educated women. And these ladies inspired Sarah to educate herself. Well, you know how unfortunately bad luck seems to follow Miss Sarah. A few years after moving to St. Louis, she developed a scalp issue. It is thought that her scalp issue arose from a multitude of things. Back then, people were exposed to harsh chemicals daily. They used lye to wash their hair. African American women could not wash their hair regularly due to the fact that there was no indoor plumbing. Lice was also a real problem. It's so gross. Because back then, there was no real way to figure out how to eradicate them. So all these things could have been a factor in the reason that she was losing her hair. We don't know, but we do know that she started losing her hair. So with these new scalp issues, she tried to come up with remedies at home on how to fix it. But unfortunately, nothing she did seemed to work. So she started looking for other options. This is when she stumbled upon Annie's Great Wonderful Hair Grower. And this product actually worked for Sarah. And her hair did indeed start to grow back. And because her hair started to grow back, this planted a seed in Sarah's head. And she actually became an agent working for Annie Malone at her company, which was named Puro, as a sales agent. It was there that she learned how to be a door-to-door saleswoman and also learned the skills of the trade. A few years later, while still working as an agent for the Puro company, Sarah and her daughter moved to Denver, Colorado. Sarah now had the ambition and the drive to start her own hair care product line from the knowledge that she had gained while working at Annie Malone's company. While living in Colorado, Sarah worked as a cook for a pharmacist. It is speculated that this pharmacist taught Sarah how to mix her own products, and this became a huge part of her success. In January of 1906, Sarah married Mr. Charles Walker. She met him while she was living in St. Louis. Mr. Walker was a newspaper advertising salesman, and during her marriage, she became known as Madam C.J. Walker. Her daughter later adopted her stepfather's surname as well, and she became Aurelia Walker. At this point, Sarah began to market herself as an independent hairdresser and retailer of cosmetic creams. Later, Mr. Walker would actually use his background in advertising to help Sarah promote her products. The same year that Sarah married Mr. Walker, she developed her first product that promised hair growth, and it was named Madam C.J. Walker's Wonderful Hair Grower. Does that name sound familiar? Maybe a little close to Annie Malone's Wonderful Hair Grower? Kind of close, right? A little shady, a little bit, not gonna lie. But it was also a genius marketing move, because here's a product that is already well established and doing great and thriving, so all she did was put her name in front of that product, and she already had built-in advertising in a sense. So smart. Sarah claimed that she came up with the formula in a dream. In her words. Sarah stopped working for Annie Malone's Puro company shortly after. One of the things that made Sarah so successful was the fact that she developed her own system, and she called it the Walker system. The system focused on growing healthy hair by following these steps. So step number 1 was to wash their hair using her formulated shampoo. Step number 2 was to wash their hair more frequently. Make sure that they get in there and really scrub everything out. Number 3 was to apply her hair grower after their shampoo. Number 4 was to coat their hair with her pressing oil named Glossine, a kind of primitive hair protectant. I mean, just like seriously genius. And then number 5 was to finish up with using the hot comb. Sarah would sell her products door to door just like Annie Malone did, but she expanded it in a major way. I just find it so inspiring. These women really were the pioneers for some of the companies that we know today, like Avon. They went door to door selling too. She recruited other women to work for her as well, and she gave them the title beauty culturalists. So not sales agents, beauty culturalists. Again, this was another amazing marketing tactic. Just From the name alone, she gave these women a title that made them feel empowered to go out and teach other women in their community about their culture and their hair, which is honestly just genius. The woman was a genius. Sarah and her husband, Mr. Walker, traveled south and southeast for over a year to offer their products and teach other people about her Walker system. Sarah would demonstrate in churches and lodges, and this would actually help to improve her and Mr. Walker's sales and marketing strategies, as well as promote her products. In 1908, Sarah moved to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and she opened up her own beauty school named Lelia College for her employees and her hair culturalists to train. In 1910, Walker established a new base in Indianapolis. Her daughter also insisted that she open up a new office and beauty salon in Harlem, New York. Harlem at this point was becoming the epicenter for African American culture. Back then, segregation was still very much alive and thriving, and Sarah was a very firm believer in helping out her community. So she built a factory that housed a salon, a beauty school, and a lab for her to create her own products and research other products for her own line. Sarah would also train her beauty culturists at this factory as well. Another pretty cool fact is that many of Sarah's company employees, including key management roles, were held by women. Sarah was also very generous with her finances and her knowledge. She would show these women how to budget, build their own businesses, and encourage them to become financially independent. In 1916, Madam C.J. Walker commissioned a mansion to be built in New York State. The magnificent mansion was named Villa Lewaro. The architect she hired to design this building was the first African-American registered architect in New York State. His name was Vertner Woodson. The mansion took 2 years to build. It is a massive 20,000 square foot building that still stands today. She lived in a prominent neighborhood. The Rockefeller estate was in that same neighborhood. The home was grand and beautiful. It is so amazing that she did build this house for herself, but she also built it for her community. They would hold meetings, parties, at least one wedding that we know of, and celebrations at this home. Sarah built the home to show Black people that they could achieve this life if they wanted to as well. It was possible with hard work and dedication. So this house became this physical monument that depicted drive and hope for other Black people to achieve their own accomplishments. By 1917, the company claimed to have trained almost 20,000 women. They had a uniform of white shirts and black skirts. They would carry black satchels, and they always looked very polished and professional when they would visit houses in the United States and the Caribbean. They would showcase and offer Madam C.J.'s beautifully packaged products with her image on the front of them to all of these potential customers. Sarah really understood the power of advertising and brand awareness, and primarily in the African American community, because it was a community that was largely ignored. In addition to Walker's frequent travels to promote her products, this also made her very well known throughout the United States. I'm gonna finish my eyebrows, I'll be right back. Madam C.J. Walker died on May 25th, 1919 from kidney failure and complications stemming from hypertension at the age of 51. During her relatively short life, she was able to accomplish so much. Around this time in history, African American women did not know how to take care of their hair because there were not really salons meant to cater towards their needs. So they would keep their hair mainly braided or tied up underneath a rag, and they didn't feel pretty. Sarah taught so many women how to take care of their hair, but more importantly, she taught them how to take care of themselves and how to feel confident and beautiful with their own hair. At the time of her death, Walker was considered to be worth about $500,000 to $1 million. making her the wealthiest woman at that time, who also happened to be black. Just saying. Sarah's daughter, Alelia Walker, later became the president of Madam C.J. Walker's manufacturing company. Walker's name actually became even more famous after her death in the 1920s. And that was actually because she expanded her company beyond the United States to Cuba, Jamaica, Haiti, Panama, and Costa Rica. In 1927, Alelia Walker built the Madam C.J. Walker building in her mother's honor. The building is located in Indianapolis and it still exists today. However, it's just a historical landmark. But in its day, it was a 4-story building. This building truly housed and helped the community. There was a salon. There was medical access for people of color that needed it. There was a theater, a brand new theater, and the theater also played all black productions, something that was unheard of at the time. You have to remember, during segregation, black people weren't even allowed to go to the movie theater. So this was just unheard of, to have a brand new sparkly theater that they could go and watch movies. There was also a ballroom and a coffee shop, so it really was like a city within a city. So Alelia definitely carried on her mother's legacy by also embracing and helping out her community. Just to give you some other highlights, Madam C.J. Walker also donated thousands of dollars towards philanthropic efforts that she deemed fit. She joined the executive committee of the New York chapter and the National Association and Advancement of Colored People, also known as the NAACP. That is just one of many things that she was a part of and helped with her community. I highly encourage you guys to go check out all of the things that she did while she was with us. She was an amazing woman, and I think a truly hidden figure that we should have learned about in school. Alright guys, and that is gonna do it. I hope you guys enjoyed this makeup and hidden heroes story time. It's something that I really feel passionate about, and I thought it would be a great story for those of you that haven't heard it before, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, will you please do me a favor and give me a big thumbs up? And also, if you're into this kind of content, please consider smashing that subscribe button. I'd love to have you. I upload videos weekly, and I'd love to see you guys next week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!